open.
Thank you. Oh my gosh. This is such a beautiful store. 15 years in the making.
That's right. It's wild.
Does it always stay this tidy?
Oh my gosh, I'm so glad it looks tidy to you. It's a constant struggle trying to keep it that way.
Yeah, understandable. What's your favorite section of the store?
I mean, I love the fiction section. It's like this whole huge wall right here. There's always a little more than we actually have room to carry, but so much amazing stuff.
And if you weren't a bookstore owner, what would you be doing instead?
Sometimes I think I might be a stage manager because running a bookstore feels like that a lot of the times. It's like you stand there, let's make sure the props are in place, let's make sure everybody knows their cues.
I can see that, some blocking.
Yeah, some blocking for sure.
What's your biggest book selling or industry pet peeve?
Maybe when people feel like there are certain kinds of books you should read. Because I feel like being a bookseller is all about finding like what's the right book for the right person, not what's like the right book. So, I mean, I love this job because I'm literally supposed to just read what I love and like share it. So yeah, having like strict ideas about what's like the right kind and the wrong kind of books, like that's annoying.
I definitely agree with that, especially as a fantasy reader myself.
There you go.
What word comes to mind when you think about Greenlight turning 15?
I think I already said wild, but that's probably the word. It's hard to believe that, like, I don't know that we've made it this far, it's still all happening. But it's amazing.
Greenlight's sister store, yours truly Brooklyn, is also celebrating an anniversary this weekend.
Right.
What's your favorite piece of stationery?
I love the buyer at YTB is so good at finding beautiful little miniature things. Like all things mini are like so addictive. There is a pen that's like this big, but you uncap it and it's very useful for writing. I love all of that mini stuff. It's awesome.
That's fun. In regards to the book world, how do you view Greenlight's place in the community?
I mean, I think Greenlight was part of like this amazing renaissance in indie bookstores that started around 15 years ago. So I love being part of that wave of sort of like new bookstores like making it work. Not that new anymore, but the wave is still going. So, I mean, I love our book selling community and our publishing community, and I'm happy that we could be part of that sort of like really amazing positive movement.
That's wonderful. Okay, so what's the last book that kept you up all night?
Ooh. I was just talking about this. The Book of Love by Kelly Link, super obsessed. It's like a very weird literary fantasy. There's a lot of karaoke in it. There's a lot of like shape shifting, but it is like the characters are so good, and it's like I could not sleep until I found out what happened to everyone. So it's incredible.
Sounds like my kind of book.
Yes.
I'll be adding it to the list.
Love it.
Speaking of books, do you think Daisy from The Great Gatsby is a villain?
Does she annoy me personally? Like, yes, but I don't think that's a book where there are villains. I mean, that's one of the reasons why it's, like an eternal classic of literature. It's one of the sources of our name. Like, it's not really a book where there are good guys and bad guys.
Yeah, very morally gray.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
As a society, should we start calling each other Old Sport?
I know you would love that. Old Sport is so funny. I don't know. I feel like it's a rare person who can pull off Old Sport. Like, that was what made Gatsby special, is that he could say that and it like wasn't weird. It was kind of weird, but I don't know. I feel like, well, yeah, that would take a special person.
We could test it.
Yeah.
We could try it out. What is something that might surprise customers to know?
Oh, I mean, I think everybody is surprised by like, I don't know how much manual labor is involved in book selling. Like everyone is like, what a lovely job. You just get to sit around and read books all day. And I'm not doing any heavy lifting right now, but there's a lot of heavy lifting involved in this job. Like a box of books is really heavy. We move around hundreds of boxes of books every day. It's maybe surprising.
Yes, I mean, book magic, we'll say.
Yes.
What's the most special memory you've had since opening?
Oh my gosh. I feel like I can't pick one. There's so many. I mean, our 5-year anniversary was incredible. I mean, we've had so many amazing author events. Like I've gotten to just like hang out with some of my favorite authors. I don't think I can answer that one. There's just too many.
Understandable. Everyone's allowed one question that they pass.
Yeah, I guess it's a pass.
And then other than Greenlight, what's your favorite bookstore?
Oh my gosh, no question. Three Lives and Company in the West Village. It's the first bookstore I ever worked in. Like as a baby bookseller, and it's still sort of my like platonic ideal. It's tiny. It's just like a little jewel box of a place. Like every book is precisely where it needs to be, and the staff is so incredibly well read. I still go back and visit. They're like my bookselling parents.
Oh my God, that's wonderful. And it's a classic. It's a beautiful store.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, we like, there are definitely Three Lives influences in Greenlight.
And I know you love to bake. If Greenlight were a pastry or dessert, what would it be?
Oh my gosh, that's so hard. I mean, my favorite cookie to bake is, I make these molasses cookies a lot. I don't know if Greenlight is a molasses cookie. What would Greenlight be? I feel like maybe it's more of a chocolate chip, because it's just like, it's a crowd pleaser. It's meant to be like, there's something for everyone. Nobody's not gonna love that.
Yeah, that makes sense. And last question, where do you see Greenlight in the next 15 years?
I mean, I hope we can continue to build on the mission, which is to create welcoming spaces for discovery, conversation, and connection around books. So whether that means, you know, expanding in some kind of way, whether it means sort of like continuing to like do the work to make this space truly welcoming for everyone, whether it means sort of like making sure that the staff have like a true investment in the store and like, you know, have a part of it. I'm not really sure what that means, but I think we've spent 15 years sort of like finding our vibe and our way of doing things, and I think we can continue to grow. It might not be sort of, I don't know that it's like, you know, expanding into an empire, but it can be sort of continuing to build on what we've done so far.
That's beautiful. I love that.
Thank
oh my
you.
gosh. Well, thank you for having me.
Thanks for doing this.
Of course.